Morning, folks. I wish I had realized it earlier, or I would have looked into it a little bit sooner. By the time you see this, it's going to be a couple days late. But today is Friday the 13th. So, the number 13 has never really seemed any different than any other number to me. If anything, I kind of seem to have good luck on the 13th, generally. But today, my car insurance is due and some other bills, so I wouldn't say that was particularly lucky, but not really unlucky either. It's just the way it is. But it got me to wondering just why it is folks think that Friday the 13th, or the number 13, is bad luck. I know there's a lot of hotels and big buildings and things don't have a 13th floor. It's there, but they don't call it 13th floor. They jump from 12 to 14 and things like that, and none of it really makes a lot of sense. So I looked it up, and here's what I found. So according to the Wikipedia thing, says Friday the 13th is considered an unlucky day in Western superstition. It occurs when the 13th day of the month on the Gregorian calendar falls on a Friday, which happens at least once a year and can occur up to 3 times in the same year. Let's see. Why is it unlucky? One source mentions for the unlucky reputation of the number 13 is in a Norse myth about the 12 gods having a dinner party in Valhalla. The trickster god Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest and arranged for Horror, H-O-O-R, the god of darkness, to shoot Balder, the god of joy and happiness, with a mistletoe-tipped arrow. Balder died, triggering much suffering in the world, which caused the number 13 to be considered unlucky. The superstition seems to relate to various things, like the story of Jesus' Last Supper and the crucifixion, in which there were 13 individuals present at the upper room on the 13th day of Nisan Maldry Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday. So it says, while there is evidence of both Friday and the number 13 being considered unlucky, there is no record of the two items being referenced as to it being especially unlucky in conjunction before the 19th century. Some cite the arrests of the Knights Templar on Friday, October 13th, 1307, by officers of King Philip IV of France as their origin of the Friday the 13th superstition, but it is agreed the origins remain murky. In France, Friday the 13th might have been associated with misfortune as early as the first half of the 19th century. A character in the 1834 play, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, translates to, I was born on a Friday, December 13th, 1813, for which comes all my misfortunes. An earlier documented reference in English occurs in H.S. Edwards' biography, who died on a Friday the 13th of November, 1868. So, let's see. I guess in Hispanic and Greek culture, Tuesday the 13th is unlucky instead of Friday. It says the Greeks also considered Tuesday, and especially the 13th, as an unlucky day. Tuesday is considered dominated by the influence of Ares, the god of war, or Mars, the Roman equivalent. The fall of Constantinople of the Fourth Crusade occurred on a Tuesday, 13th of April, 1204, and the fall of Constantinople to the Ottomans appeared on Tuesday, the 29th of May, 1453. I guess that's for Tuesday, not the 13th. So, anyway, it's all kind of what you make of it, it looks like to me. There is no real reason for most of this. It says that In Italy, the 17th is considered to be unlucky. Okay, it says here the rate of accidents on Friday the 13th. A study by Scanlon and Lupin attracted attention from popular science literature as it concluded that the risk of hospital admission as a result of a transport accident may be increased by as much as 52% on the 13th. However, the authors clearly state that the numbers of admissions from accidents are too small to allow any meaningful analysis. Subsequent studies have disproved any correlation between Friday the 13th and the rate of accidents. On the 12th of June 2008, the Dutch Center for Insurance Statistics stated to the contrary that fewer accidents and reports of fire and theft occurred when the 13th of the month falls on a Friday than any other Friday, because people are predominantly more careful or just stay home. Statistics speaking of driving is slightly safer on Friday the 13th, at least in the Netherlands, in the last 2 years. Dutch insurance received reports of an average of 7,800 traffic accidents each Friday, but the average figure for the 13th fell on a Friday was only 7,500. So you got 300 less. Let me see. I can't find where it said how many people. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. I didn't know there was such a place. According to the Stress Management Center and Phobia Institute, they got a whole institute, huh? An estimated 17 to 21 million people in the United States are affected by fear of this day, making it the most feared day and the date in history. Some people are so paralyzed by fear that they avoid their normal routines in doing business, taking flights, or even getting out of bed. It has been estimated that $800 to $900 million is lost in business days on this day. Despite this, representatives for both Delta Airlines and Continental Airlines have stated that their airlines do not suffer any noticeable drop in travel on those Fridays. So that's, I don't know, it's a strange thing for me. I mean, superstitions kind of are fun, most of them. Most of them I don't really believe in all that much. But are you guys worried about Friday the 13th? I didn't even realize that today was Friday the 13th until somebody pointed it out. But I had a friend who has since died. I miss that guy. He ended up with bladder cancer, which was definitely unlucky. But he was born on Friday the 13th, and he used to say, I have a bad attitude because I was born on a bad attitude day. And that guy, he did have a bad attitude. He had the worst temper of anybody I've ever known, but he was funny. I really liked him. And in fact, he is the guy I met Cindy through. We were going up, he was a logger, and we were going up to northern Washington to help a lady fix a broken down logging skidder, and that's how I met Cindy. And matter of fact, we got married in his backyard. So it was lucky for us to meet. So I don't know. It is what you make it. Then there's some superstitions that I've never heard of before. There was a guy, I was at a garage sale a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3, and somebody was there, wanted to buy something, and all he had was a $50 bill. And the guy that was putting on the garage sale says, I don't take 50s. And the guy says, what do you mean you don't take 50s? He says, $50 bills are unlucky. And I'd never heard that before. And I said, well, how come? And he says, first off, he says, that's Ulysses S. Grant on that $50 bill. That's that Yankee general. And he says, that he's definitely unlucky. And he's also the president. That's why he's on there, or he was the president. But then I also read where a lot of gamblers think that a $50 bill is unlucky. I don't remember the reason for that now, but I guess he's not alone. A lot of people won't take a $50 bill, or maybe not a lot of them, but some people. He ended up, the guy said, well, that's all the money I got. And he says, well, it's your lucky day. He says, I don't take 50s and you just have it for free. So he'd rather lose $50 than to take a $50 bill. Woohoo! Then there was a gal, Machine Gun Mary was her name. Mary Turner. She died right about the time we lived here, and I moved here, and she was rumored to be the girlfriend of Pretty Boy Floyd or Al Capone or one of them famous gangsters. I don't recall for sure which one, but she did have a Tommy gun, and I guess a lot of money after she died people found, but she claimed to be broke all the time on food stamps and the whole 9 yards. But she had a guy doing the irrigating for her, moving, hand lines and water pipes and things to do her little farm field there, hayfield. And she come real close to firing him because he killed a rattlesnake and left it belly up. And she says, we just got hay cut and you did that? He goes, well, what difference does that make? She goes, you left it belly up. It's going to rain for sure now. I don't know if it did, but yeah, she was serious. She was going to fire that guy. And there's all sorts of superstitions, but I don't know. It's kind of silly. Some of them are kind of fun, though. This muskrat, I'm here right now checking my muskrat traps. And down here in this ditch here, my traps are empty. So that muskrat was lucky. This muskrat didn't catch one, so I guess I'm unlucky. That all depends on your point of view, folks. With that being said, I hope you guys all have a great and lucky day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.